Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
안녕하세요. Hello there, friends. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to say relax in Korean. My name is Jeremy. I teach English and Korean. And in my daily life, I run into these sort of difficult to translate things between Korean and English quite a lot. Either Korean people ask me how to say something in English, or English speakers ask me how to say something in Korean, and I often have to figure it out. So this one is a rather interesting one because there is no one way to say it. English speakers usually struggle with things in Korean when there is a sort of, there's one way to say it in English and there's many ways to say it in Korean. Vice versa, the Koreans struggle with the same thing. There's one way to say it in Korean, but there's a number of ways to say it in English. And this is usually very hard because you have to sort of take one word that you know and divide it up into different versions of that meaning, different contexts. In the dictionary, if you were to look up the word relax and say there's 7 or 8, 12 definitions in there, each of those definitions might have its own word in Korean, might have its own translation. So there are different senses of the word, right? So in this video, we're going to talk about a number of ways to say relax. And in order to do so, we're going to have to talk about some different contexts in which you will use those or use these phrases. So the first and the most easy one, because it's actually English, is 릴렉스. 릴렉스하다. 릴렉스하다. I hear this used a lot, and it's quite common in Korean that there are words that they borrowed words from English. They call them 외래어. Borrowed words from other languages, not just English. And this is one of them. There are a number of them. And I find that usually they're borrowed when the Korean word either isn't quite adequate for that situation or sometimes just for fun. This one, I think it's because the English word relax sort of encompasses many different meanings with these other meanings, these other translations that we're going to talk about here. So I think that's why this one is used. 릴렉스하다. I think they mean it to say when you kick back and relax, you're on like a lounge chair, you're sipping an iced tea or something like that. To me, this is what this 릴렉스하다 means. Now, it should be mentioned that this word isn't in the dictionary. Maybe because it's English, and Koreans know that they're using an English word when they say it. I'm not exactly sure. If you're a native Korean, please tell us in the comments, or if you have some knowledge in this area that you can share. But I do hear it all the time in my daily life, interacting with Korean people, and in general, most Korean people know this word. So this is similar to 휴식하다, which will be our next one here. 휴식 is like to relax, as in to rest, to relax, kick back and relax. It's basically the same meaning. But this one is quite commonly used. The next word that could relate to relax is relax in the sense of, let's see, if my arm is really tense right now and you're trying to do something with my arm, you can say, okay, relax. That relax, in the sense of relax your muscles, is what this next word means. And that word is 이완하다. 이완하다. This word isn't very commonly used. I've only heard it when people are sort of explaining sort of muscular things. And I was told, and when doing my research before this episode, that it's almost always related to 근육. 근육 means muscle, and 근육을 이완하다. So this is to relax the muscle. The opposite of this word is 수축. 수축. So 수축 means to, what is that? To do this, to contract, or to make smaller, and specifically here in a muscular sense. Another one is 힘 빼다. 힘 빼. You'll hear that a lot if you are, having conversations with Korean people, or you're doing anything physical with them, actually. So I played basketball a lot in Korea with a lot of Korean people. So I heard a lot of these words. I also did a lot of yoga in Korea. So I heard this word as well. 힘 빼. 빼다 is the verb for to take out. So if there's a card stuck in a box, and you need me to take the card out of the box, and you would say 카드 빼. So it's this pulling out motion, this verb. And when combined with 힘, now 힘 doesn't directly translate into English, but it's very, very common, like 힘내세요, 힘내다, 힘이 세다. and in this sense it means strength, but it's referred to, or it's when it's used in Korean, it means strength as in like take the strength out of what you're doing right now. So back to this example, if I'm holding my arm really strongly right here and you want to move my arm, if you say 힘 빼, you're telling me take the strength, take the tension out of your muscles. So by doing so, I'll relax my muscle like that. So pull the strength out would be the literal translation, or take out the strength. So if you're up like this and someone says 힘 빼, then you're dropping the strength. You're taking out the strength. So that's that one. 힘 빼 is a very common one. It's a good one for, and I would say it's more common than 이원하다. 이원하다 is a little more scientific sounding, technical sounding. So the next one here is 긴장을 풀다. Okay, so we'll start with the verb. 풀다 is what you do to your shoelaces when they're tied in a knot and you need to untie them. That is 푸는 거. 풀다 is to unravel. But you also can 풀어, if I put it in an English sentence, you can 풀어 a math problem as well. So it's like breaking down, solving, resolving, maybe would be the most direct translation. 풀다. If you have a problem with a friend, you and your friend fought and you aren't talking for a while, and then later 풀었어, you could say that. Then you resolved it. You untied the knot. You relieved the tension, which is essentially the meaning, how it can relate to relax here as well. So 긴장, for those who don't know, is nervousness or anxiety, in a noun form. You can say 긴장되다, 긴장하다. It's used commonly in a verb form as well. So 긴장을 풀다 is to literally relieve the stress or relieve the tension, relieve the anxiety, but could be translated as relax, right? So relax, everyone. We just got a couple more. The next one is rather interesting. 진정하다. So 진정해. Let's say that you're with a friend in the car and you get in a small car accident. Someone, a fender bender, like we say here in the U.S. You get bumped. Someone bumps the car from behind, and the bumper is kind of smashed, and there's some damage on your friend's car. Your friend gets out of the car and is just freaking out. Oh my God, what am I going to do? It's going to be so expensive. My insurance, what do I do? And they're just like all over the place freaking out. In that moment, you can say, 진정해. And it's kind of like calm down, like relax. In English, I would say that, dude, relax. It's okay. We'll figure this out. It's just a fender bender. You're okay. So 진정하다. Here is another one for relax, and it's relax in the sense of emotionally relax. The ones that we talked about above are a little bit closer to physical relaxation. So relax your muscles, kick back and relax, pull the strength out. These are a little more physical, and 긴장을 풀다 is a little more emotional, but you can see 긴장 in people's posture and sometimes in their facial expressions, right? So if you 풀다 that, if you put all that, then you are relaxed. 진정하다 is more in an emotional sense, in the way that they're thinking or acting or speaking, if they're kind of all over the place. 진정해. So the next one here is relax in the sense of rest. So let's say that you and I are friends. We've known each other for a long time, right? So it's important we have that kind of relationship. Relationships are very important in Korean. They set the context for how things are expressed. So we know each other. We've known each other for a while, and you're not feeling very well. Right? You kind of like, your eyes are kind of sagging. You maybe have some dark circles here. You're a little stuffy, and you're kind of talking like this. And I say, "Oh, are you feeling okay?" And you say, "No, I mean, I'm a little sick. I'm feeling a little under the weather." And I say, "Oh yeah, just go home, relax. Just take some. What do we say? Take a load off, right? Put your feet up. Go home, relax, rest." So in the sense of rest, this expression here can be used. So 쉬다 is the verb itself. 쉬다, 쉬. Notice the lip motion, important, because that's how you make the two vowel sounds in there, the double vowel. 쉬다 means to rest. quite directly. Rest as in the opposite of like stressful activity, right? And a word that is very commonly used with it is 푹. 푹. Hear that sound at the end? So 푹 쉬다. When conjugated, 푹 쉬어 or 푹 쉬어, they'll say. 푹 쉬어 or 푹 쉬세요, depending who you're talking to. So I wouldn't say that to you. That's why I mentioned that we were friends and we'd known each other for a while. Friend in Korean, the word friend, 친구, means person of the same age. Doesn't necessarily mean that we're close and really like each other a lot or something. So if you're quite a bit older than me or my superior, my teacher or something, I would say 푹 쉬세요, 쉬세요, 쉬세요. Right? And 푹, to me, 푹 means like when you put your hand into a pillow and then you take your hand out of the pillow, that 푹, that's what 푹 is to me, like that sinking into a soft surface. So instead of 푹, you could also put a couple other words on there which would make some useful expressions, like 편안하게, 편안하게, but the 하 gets kind of skipped, so it's like 아게 at the end. 편안하게, 편안하게, 편안하게 쉬세요, 편안하게 쉬어. And that's saying 편안하다 is comfortably, so, or 편안하게 is comfortably, 편안하다 is comfortable. So comfortably rest or relax. And another version of this is 편히. So there's this one sounds to me like something maybe older people would say. I don't necessarily use this one myself, but 편히 쉬세요, 편히 쉬어. Actually, that does sound kind of familiar. Like after a basketball game, and one of the guys would be like, 제레미, 가, 편히 쉬어. Maybe 편안하게 쉬어, 푹 쉬어. You worked really hard today. Relax. Go take a rest. So I hope you found this video helpful. I know that I didn't go into too much depth on some of these expressions. Please don't feel like you have to memorize all of them or use them all now. But you can come back to this video to reference, to if you want to check on one of them. Maybe you took note of one that will be useful to you in your immediate, in your daily life. Hopefully you found that some of these are helpful, and maybe they'll at least help you to understand what Korean people are saying to you when they use one of these. So if they say 힘 빼, what are they saying? If they say 진정해, what are they saying? Right? So hope you found it helpful. We'll be doing more of these videos in the future, so I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Happy Korean learning.